Welcome into another episode of Talking Tactics presented by MedPace. Alex Deck joined by assistant coach Dominic Kinnear. Dom, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you. I've been wanting to do this for so long, and I'm glad I finally got the chance.
We're going to talk about Nashville, last weekend's draw with them. A really defensive-minded team. They put a lot of numbers behind the ball. Kind of tough to break down.
They are. They're a good team led by Walker Zimmerman, probably the best center back in MLS, in my opinion. So we have a couple clips here, Alex. Two ways to kind of break them down, which we did. Tough game with them getting the lead early. We know they were going to sit back deep, make it difficult for us. So obviously ball rotation and individual play is going to play a big part in this.
All right, let's take a look at clip one.
If you look at this first clip, it starts with Jeff building the ball to the back, and you see our back five is really kind of spread out. We're trying to spread out Nashville, who's a team that likes to sit deep. When you can see this, you have them being so narrow, and they will give you the outside, but they try and pin you on one side. So for us, it's important for Alvis and Brandon for their movement off the ball to kind of receive the ball in these little pockets, which will create. John Nelson there, you can see, is kind of keeping it wide. And Freeze there, you see it with Brandon coming to the ball. And he does a real good job here because if you see on the far side where Alvaro and John Nelson is, it's a ton of space over there. So if we get it in, we can kind of bait them in a little bit. And you'll see here what Brandon does. Real good play and switch a play to kind of open them up. You see Nashville dropping in, making things difficult. As you can see here with the 3 and the 4. All right, so important for us, we need to move the ball. If it's stagnant, we're going to have a tough time. So once again, rotate it around. And you freeze there just to the sides of the holding midfielders is where Yuya and Obi were kind of playing their areas, all right? And then you have Brandon again, this little highlighted area, to try and move their back 4, back 5 around. Ball goes in again. Brandon sees John Nelson at the back post. All right, and as you can see, as John Nelson is receiving the ball here, we're in a good spot. With our patient possession, we kind of have good numbers around the ball, so if it does break down, we're in a good space to kind of pressure them and win the ball back. But John Nelson makes a good play, I think. He puts the ball in the box, creates a little bit of confusion, but Alvaro Barrial, for me, is making a real good play of kind of holding on to the ball. Plays it out again. You see how many players they have behind the ball. Difficult to break down, so this is when individual flair and guile kind of comes into play. Good play by John Nelson, finds Alvaro in the pocket. Another thing we really kind of highlighted there just a little bit back was they leave too high all the time. So it's important for our 3 to be in good shape just in case the ball breaks down because they're a very good transition team, likes to sit deep. I think we did a pretty good job pretty much most of the evening of kind of, taking away the transition game for them. As let it play here, Alvaro with a great back heel. And the one thing we have is 2 forwards in the box, Brenner and Brandon making really good runs. If Brenner doesn't make that run, Zimmerman can kind of protect the back post, but Brenner's run there, it kind of freezes Walker Zimmerman a little bit and it gives that space for Brandon to come into. In the end, Dave Romney makes a wonderful play for Nashville. Referee gets the call wrong, calls a goal kick instead of a corner. But for us, a good way of kind of holding the ball, building it from side to side, and then striking when the time is right. And it kind of goes off of Alvaro's back heel, which kind of catches everyone by surprise.
Yeah, clever by Alvaro Barrial, but a great run by Brandon Vasquez from the penalty spot to the near post. I thought his runs were great all night against Nashville.
Yeah, I think he's really getting a sense for the position. His partnership with Brenner in this instance, when those two are together, it creates problems for the back 3 or back 4 for the other teams. And I think you see it when one runs off each other, it creates space in dangerous situations. And I think he attacked the ball well at the near post, like I said before. In the end, Nashville's emergency defending really paid well for them.
All right, well, let's take a look at the second clip.
Yeah, this is just after the goal we scored. So everyone's really excited, trying to get after the second goal, and you can see it here. Good defensive posture. We've stepped to the ball. Nashville, we've kind of, as any team does, you want them to play in a certain area where you can kind of close out the passing lanes, make play predictable. We do a great job here of our 3 guys, and there's our 3 midfielders and John Nelson, really close to the ball, closing down passing lanes. Our back 3 are kind of in the great spots to intercept the ball in case a ball went through. Now, as the ball plays, this is a real good, and you said it, Brandon's movement here. And one thing we can always say and think about is when the other team loses the ball, their first thought for their center backs is usually take a step forward. I think Brandon recognizes this. He also recognizes playing against the back 3, the space behind can be there at times. And his timing of his run and the ball by Yuya is fantastic. Now, we have highlighted Alvaro Barrial on this one, who actually won the ball and played it to Yuya. So his determination and his ability to kind of cover ground over long distances, because he sees the goal. He sees a chance here, and he kind of runs off it well. So let's not take away from the great play by Brandon, who bumps Romney off, cuts inside, and you see it here. He's opened up a great window for himself. And in saying that, Alvaro is kind of coming late. So, and then you can see the stretcher crew here. The stadium's really on a high because we've just scored. Here's another opportunity. And this, for me, it's like a bit of the family of the team. Everybody's in this together, And when you see the stretcher crew celebrating or even feeling the agony of what's going on, it makes you feel like you're in something special here, and it really was a special moment for us, even though it didn't end in a goal.
I love seeing that from the stretcher crew. I think everyone's adrenaline was racing after that goal, just inches away on that shot. But great opportunity, one of many that you guys created throughout the game, try to push for that game winner toward the end, but overall solid performance.
Yeah, it was good. We were disappointed with the draw, but showing you two ways of how to break down Nashville. One is as they're sitting deep, us moving the ball, and the second is the transition, which we work a lot on in practice. So when we're looking and thinking the same like this, we're giving teams problems. So hopefully we continue to cause some teams problems and make a push for the playoffs.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the time, Dom. Appreciate it. I feel like we learned a lot today. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Talkin Tactics presented by MedPace.